Good morning, Scott School, on this wonderful Wednesday, April 10th. Oh, a fine day indeed. The sun is shining. So excited that spring is back. It seems nice to have some warmer weather. However, tomorrow and Friday, it does look like there's some rain in the forecast and the temps will drop a bit. I don't think it's quite that cold that you'll need full winter gear, but you may want to reconsider wearing shorts and just a t-shirt. Like wearing a sweatshirt or layers is probably your best bet until it warms up and stays warm. So just look for that flag tomorrow, but we'll remind you again. MSTEP, as we know, is in session, and so many are just working really hard. It's just been really great to see walking through the building. Classrooms are super quiet and engaged and on task. So great work. I know that these tests are not something we all go, yay, this is fun to do. But it is a really great measurement of what you've learned, and it tells us some information as well. So anyhow, keep working hard. Remember, do your best. That's all we ask. You want to avoid rapid guessing or just guessing and moving on unless you're working really hard and you get to a question you just don't know. Use the process of elimination by getting rid of the answers that you know for sure certainly couldn't be it. And then you might have to pick the best choice, and that's okay. You don't want to get stuck and be stuck there for a long time. You want to continue to move on. So just keep working hard. We know you can do it. I do want to talk this morning briefly about cafeteria or lunchroom expectations. I recognize that all of you don't get a ton of time to just socialize with your friends. We know this. We know you have recess, a long recess, short recess, and lunch. And then you might have some talk time in class, but sometimes it's fun just to have some time to just chat and catch up with people. We get that. What I want to encourage though is during lunchtime, that window is so small, that window of time is, it really is about 17 minutes. By the time you leave your class, get down there, get your lunch, sit down, eat, and then you transition to go outside to the walking loop. That means, boys and girls, you need to be eating. Talk less, eat more if you're unable to balance both. And if you are able to balance both, fine. Nobody's going to say much as long as you're using an appropriate voice volume level. The other thing I want to talk to you about, though, is sometimes there are students who are just hanging back and not lining up to go outside. Guys, we have to follow a process for eating and moving on unless there's some really extenuating circumstance, which means that there's a situation that just can't be avoided. We want you to eat. That's important. But we can't have that become a pattern where kids are just sitting back and going, oh, I just won't go out to short recess. I'll just stay in here and eat. Those tables have to be washed and cleared and ready for the next group. And it's good for you to get outside and get some fresh air. And we have supervision by our lunch and recess assistants that covers your safety. And so they keep a watch on you. And it's really hard to do that when we're not following a system or a process. So you need to eat and talk less so that you can get outside. So that's one thing. The next thing I want to talk about is when you're in the cafeteria, you get your food, you sit down, and if you need to get up again for maybe silverware or napkins or a milk or the restroom or something like that, raise your hand. A lunch assistant will come around, or a recess assistant, one of the trusted adults in there will come around and they will address you. They will ask you what you need, how they can help you, and then you will communicate and they'll give you approval to do that. You are not supposed to be up just walking around randomly in the cafeteria. A couple of years ago, we actually had a little bit of a collision and a slip because there was something wet on the floor and someone fell and they actually bumped their head on the floor. And that was really scary for them and for all of us. So making sure you're following that procedure or guideline is important too for safety. And it allows the cafeteria to have some sort of expectation and guideline that we all follow. So making sure you're doing that. And then your things that you need to throw away at the end. So you have trays to put back when we have trays. Right now we don't, but back in the day we had trays. Or you might have things to throw away or your lunch pail. You are to remain seated and your table will be called by a lunch assistant to go toss away your garbage, clean up, put things where they need to go, and line up. But you shouldn't just randomly be getting up and throwing things away. Because again, that cafeteria is not that big, my friends. And there are lots of kids in there. So there could be collisions. And it's wasting a lot of valuable time because we don't have a lot of time during that lunch period, and we want you to eat and stay on task. It also, believe it or not, helps the voice volume, because when kids are up and moving, all of that craziness starts to kind of contribute to, oh, let's talk louder. Oh, hey, what are you doing? All these things that it makes that area or that space kind of get a little bit loud, kind of out of control a little bit. And we want to make sure that first safety, and then second, our voice volume is what it should be indoors. So I'm going to leave it at that. I know you can do great things. I think we've gotten a little loose in there, and let's tighten it up and show our personal best. And now on to Miss Rosalind.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Reha. What a coincidence that our fab vocab word of the week is something that I was doing today. I was counting the abundant hallway heroes that I saw outside of everyone's classroom. You guys, amazing. I haven't been here since last Thursday, and the papers are full. People are doing their best. I've heard other adults give compliments that aren't even really participating, that you guys are doing such a great job. So carry that hallway hero mentality into the lunchroom, right? Like, just continue those awesome manners that you have. So here's where we're at. I will come around this morning. Some of our top people, some of our top classrooms, you're going to pick some of those. You see those like superheroes kind of by the staff lounge.
Mhm.
You're going to get to pick one to put on display outside of your classroom. That way other classrooms know too. And then we'll figure out what some fun things we can get doing. So our number one in the whole school, Mrs. Puss Farouche. Woo woo. But we have a 3-way tie for second place, okay? So I'm going to be watching, and then by the end of today, we'll kind of shimmy some numbers and figure out what we're going to do. And maybe we just do something really fun and combined. Maybe that's the thing, right? You guys are working as a team. So we have Greenfield, Greenhoe, and Toth all tied for second place. So good job, you guys. Now, this is not to forget about second grade, because I know you guys are doing really awesome things in the hallway. For third place, we have a tie. We have Miss Yunker and Miss Sovey. So we're going to get this down. So I'll be around today this afternoon, and we'll get something going. Okay. Lots of fun things. Keep up the good work. All right. Miss Schwartz.
Why, thank you. Friends, we've got a couple Panther Pride winners this morning from Mrs. Denning's class, Caleb and Brooklyn. From Miss Yunker's class, we have Addie and Tony and Monty. Congratulations, my friends. Now let's all please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Have a wonderful Wednesday, Scott School.